and salutations, listener. It is I, Eric J. Chucci, here, as usual, accompanied by a Darkspawn? The boy.
Hey.
And when we talk about Dragon Age, we are required by law to have our special guest, my lovely wife, Brandie.
Hey. I think he's specifically a Genlock.
Yeah? I would have said Herlock.
I think I'm a little too tall for a Genlock. Genlocks are dwarves.
Well, he's insulting you, so...
I'm not short. Insulting me, I'm the tallest person in the house. Insulting me for being short doesn't make any sense.
If I could
He's a Genlock!
Briefly, for a word from our sponsors. If you guys could hit the like button, that'd be super awesome. The comments, the favorites, the subscribes, that's great and everything, and I appreciate it, but really the like button's the important part. Also, our good buddy Super Blizzard, his Shining Was Auto song, Let's Get Hardcore, that's our theme music. And if you follow the link in the description, you can buy more of his music. And if you buy his music, he makes you neat games. Quietly, slowly, because he is but one man.
But they're neat.
Yeah, they're still neat. They're out there. I forget the name of the newest one. It's something about an axe. It's pretty cool.
I believe it's like Long Live the Axe.
Long Live the Axe. You got it, my friend. Joy Lancer.
Puppet Kingdom.
Puppet Kingdom. That's still in progress, but it looks cool. So yeah, there's that. Before we get into the topic of the day, which as I said is Dragon Age, Inquisition, these are our thoughts for the second half of the game, and I'm sure for the rest of the game too. Let's just have a very, very, very brief spoiler moment. Or spoiler-free moment, I should say. We like the game. Biased. That's the general consensus. Game of the year 2014, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay. If you want deeper thoughts, A, spoiler-free thoughts, and then B, thoughts up to what is roughly the midway point of the story, you can go check out our previous Dragon Age Inquisition podcast. If I remember, I will link it in the video. You can click it, you'll be there. Otherwise...
It's in one of the sidebars.
Yeah. This is Spoiler Town. There's officially no holds barred. I'm not going to break out the old WWE song, but this is all dicks on the table.
I don't have a dick.
If you want to pull out some ovaries and do a little bongo beat with them, we can do that.
That sounds painful.
Yeah, so let's not.
Okay. And we'll see. And time consuming.
Yeah, and you got to put them back in. That's no fun.
Well, you only have to put them back in if they're your ovaries.
I really don't want my ovaries.
I went to a dark place there, didn't I?
Yeah, I'm going to move my cat slightly more away from you. Sick fuck.
But spoilers, all the spoilers.
Yeah, no,
all the major spoilers.
We will give you the customary 2 Nerds Podcast 5 seconds, starting now.
Really wish I had to fart.
Yeah, it's been 5 seconds, but you ruined it by talking.
I know. Well, now they have the spoiler that I wish I had to fart. Because that would have been funny. Like, it's been brewing this whole time. Should have been an interrupt joke by now, but sorry.
Yeah, now you ruined the payoff.
Yeah, I'm a ruiner.
Awful non-jokes.
Yes,
he is a ruiner.
I am.
So, Dragon Age. Spoilers for the last half of the game after the fade. Now that we've all beaten it.
As usual, I was the last to beat it.
As usual.
I have beaten it twice.
As usual. It's just he doesn't, like, for whatever reason, he takes longer.
Because every time we play Dragon Age, I have had to restart for some reason.
Yeah. I feel like I should bring your olditis joke back, but I think I'll let...
The first time it wasn't even the case.
No, you just had to restart. Like...
And that wasn't even really the case this time. It's just I kept running into something that ruined that playthrough for me.
And Dragon Age 2, the worst one, you ended up being a nice husband and playing the first, 7 or 8 hours for me.
Yes.
After I missed Fenris.
Yes.
That way she could be right where she was, but not Miss Fenris.
Well, I was gainfully self-employed at the time, so I had nothing but hours in which to do this.
But now that we've all beaten the game, I just want to get this out front. I just want to say, because I feel like my EP needs this. I called it, motherfuckers.
I call a lot of stuff myself.
I did as well.
But I called the big reveal, the post-credit scene reveal, I called that shit.
I called Blackwall, straight up. Like,
Oh God, yeah.
I think everyone called Blackwall. That dude was shifty.
I called it from the second I saw him.
Not a word.
But I couldn't really call anything because you guys were behind me, so it was all calling in my head.
Right. It would be like, oh hey, evidence I have that you don't suggest that this happens. Well, that's basically a spoiler.
But yeah, no.
I called Blackwall. I called Barrack, sort of. I called.
Here's what I want to know. Did anyone call the Dragon Horcrux?
I did not call the Dragon Horcrux.
I wanted to kill the dragon. I wondered why we weren't killing the dragon, but
Like, we're good at killing dragon.
yeah.
As Iron Bull says right before the final battle, that's easy. We're good at killing shit.
I like Iron Bull.
I'm so happy I like Iron Bull. I believe I may have mentioned it on the podcast before, but I did not think I was going to like Iron Bull.
I don't think you mentioned it. I mean, leading into this game, we were all, well, I don't know about you.
You know what? Actually, leading into this game, I did not like any of the fucking companions.
Yeah.
I thought they all sounded boring or annoying in some way.
And I told you guys, and you guys didn't listen, but come to find out that Josie is not all that boring, and she has layers.
Lair. She has lair.
She's fun. She's an okay person. She's not,
Super interesting.
no, but she's not bland either. She's better than Liliana in Origins.
Liliana in Origins was cray-cray.
Yeah, that was her lair.
She was kind of all over the place.
Playing Origins again, because, well, I need a break from Inquisition. Liliana, straight up crazy.
Oh, Morgan's much more of a bitch in Origins, if memory serves. She mellowed a lot in that 10 years. There's a lot of dead air here. Anyone want to bring up something else, or?
I like to push the buttons.
Wow. Wow. Come on, guys.
I think there's a dragon in the game. My stance on Sarah has soured a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Because, it was all, milk and honey last time. And, well, okay, here's the biggest thing. This is the biggest fucking thing that's changed. Because I don't think I started my playthrough with, the Dalish elf last time. I was still on my dwarf. And my dwarf I found I was lame. I got to the point in the game, midpoint, and I was like, there's still more game? I feel as though I've accomplished what I set out to accomplish. And my dwarf still had this personality of, unlikely hero. Oh, I don't know if I can be the Inquisitor. I don't know if I can do that. And it got old. Instead of the moments that were awesome in the game being awesome, me going, yeah, that's my hero, I went,
And, see, instead of character development and the character, reaching into herself and trying to find the balls to lead or being conflicted about leading something she feels like she's not qualified to lead, he just decided to abandon the playthrough and try again.
Well, I mean...
He's not happy. He's not happy.
Yeah, there's not a lot of room to, for your character to grow super hard in Inquisition. I mean...
I don't know. My character experience quite a bit of growth.
My character was awesome from the get-go, so there really wasn't room for growth.
My guy wasn't. My guy was a perfectly normal mage who was in the Ostwick Circle, and then the rebellion happened, blah, blah, blah. But, he experienced a lot of growth.
Well, that's good.
You just kind of have to, do it.
I mean, nothing happened that would have made her grow. And the things that I thought were going to make her grow, which were in the Sarah romance, never occurred. Because different people write the dialogue for different companions. And I assume your dialogue is affected because of that. So while every other choice in the game, up means nice, middle means snarky, down means rude, or at least direct.
Direct more. You're not often direct, just straight up rude.
I mean, if it's rude, you can usually tell.
Yeah. It's fuck you.
Instead of being we should go save those elves. It's fuck elves.
Actually, it would be fuck the knife ears.
Yeah.
Fuck the dirty knife ears, even if you are yourself a knife ear.
Because that's Sarah's stance on it.
Yeah. But, with Sarah, it's the up choice is, be her mom, or dad, I guess, if you played a male Inquisitor. The middle choice is be a dick, but not too much of a dick. And the down choice is be Captain No Fun. And also a dick.
Whereas it seems like the middle choice is just the natural choice there.
Well, but my Inquisitor wasn't snarky at all. She wasn't like a ribbing kind of person, because humor was not her strong suit. She was a good leader, unlikely though she may have been, but she was down to earth and pleasant.
See, I never had a problem with Sarah. I never had a problem becoming Sarah's friend. We had awesome roof time where she tried to bake awful cookies, and now instead of like going on kissy dates that you do with your other people, we go have roof time where she talks about the sky.
Yeah, I mean, that's nice, and that was a cool thing, and here's the big thing that changed. Last podcast, I was talking about how much I hated the Dalish. And I have found out that I don't hate the Dalish as a whole. I hate the tribes of Dalish we had seen up to that point. Because, at least according to Solas, the Dalish clans are so scattered that they might as well not all have a collective noun. Like, one is so fucking different from the rest. And playing a Dalish elf, you actually see a lot of that.
Well, I mean, you see it in the series up to that point, too, because the Dalish clan from Origins is very different from the one from 2, which is pretty different from the one you meet in Inquisition.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong at all. I just hadn't... Like, 2 softened, they were less dumb, so I just thought it was an improvement in the writing, you know? Because I didn't play a Dalish elf in Origins. So I didn't know that those 2 different tribes, A, were different tribes, or B, that they were even different back in Origins. Like I said, I just thought the writing had gotten better by that point. And, you know, learning about their plight, learning about their history, there's so much you can learn about the Dalish in this game. I would say it is akin to the amount of information you got to learn about the dwarves in Origins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although you don't spend as much time with the Dalish. There's 2 entire zones which are essentially just fucking... It's the Dales. You go to the Dales. You learn Dalish history.
Yeah. And especially because I played a dwarf in Origins, I had my origin, which had a lot of strong, you know, learning about dwarven culture. And then when you go to Orzammar, there's so much you learn about dwarven culture. And...
I thought I never mentioned the other underground dwarven city.
But there's a bunch of tags.
Well, there's only 2 major cities now. I read this in Origins.
Yeah, there's one there's Orzammar, and then there's like...
Another one far away, but they never mentioned it.
Well, they don't really talk. They're kind of separate.
Yeah, they mentioned that because of all the collapsed deep roads and stuff, it's harder to get around.
And I think there's a thing in Inquisition where you make contact with the other one.
I never saw it.
Yeah, it's over near Tventer. A bunch of dwarves.
Oh, yeah! Yeah, that mission really late in the game. There's like...
A bunch of dwarves caught like slaves in a Tventer mining thing.
Oh, yeah.
Venatori mining camp. And then when you go to rescue them, I assume whoever you picked, the person I picked did it, you show up and they're gone. They're already gone. Their dwarves already saved them, and their dwarves offer to let you through their deep roads. A certain number of people going, don't fucking look around. Just go through the roads we mark, and you'll find some Venatori to go kill. And then you do. I just followed their fucking instructions.
Yeah, I did too. And they were like, good, you can follow orders, thank you. I remember that now. I didn't realize that was the other dwarven city. I just thought it was just dwarves. But no, yeah, it is over there in, like, where Tventer quest markers are.
Going back to playing Origins, I laughed when I went through the hinterlands. To Lothering.
You didn't, like, spend 4 days there just standing
I
around
went from the
picking
Victoria
out fruit?
Wilds to Lothering, and you had to go through the hinterlands.
Right, I was being a dick.
I know.
Okay.
I was shooting you down.
No sold my dick,
Yep.
alright.
It's very unusual for me.
Yeah, jokes here on the Two Nerds podcast. Jokes!
But after the Temple of Mythal, when you get back after...
And the Temple of Mythal.
Yeah, fucking Temple of Mythal.
That's
was
that's
just
a
amazing.
bombshell.
Once you get back and you learn... Spoiler.
Stop.
Yeah, no, it's spoiler-free town.
Okay, Once you find out that the elves did it to themselves, that the elves were the ones who destroyed
Old Elvan.
Yeah.
And the Tventers were basically like, oh, the kingdom was destroyed. We did it! Was totally badass. We totally, it's 2 big strong guys are punching each other, and one strong guy knocks the other strong guy out and then leaves and, dies by himself in an accident, and then a small weak guy walks up, sees 2 dead strong guys, and goes, "I did it! I'm the best! Everyone, come look! I'm the best!" And now he has a badass reputation, and everyone's scared of him because he killed the 2 strong guys.
But Sarah really shows how fucking racist she is.
Yeah.
And how small-minded she is, and how she will not accept anything but the maker and hating else.
And it's not for great reasons. Now, don't get me wrong here. I don't hate her as a character or anything. She's certainly not Vivienne.
Yeah. Oh my god, there's a bunch of people on the internet who love Vivienne.
Well, they're wrong.
Think she's the best character in the game.
I think she's a cool person. If I didn't disagree with her so strongly politically, like, in that I don't appreciate backstabbing and manipulation, I don't like the Orlesian game, then yeah, we'd get along just fine. I even think she has some good ideas about, establishing circles, but maybe not fucking them up.
I think she's a antebellum hardline conservative. Look, the war happened. Alright, you can't go back to pre-war.
Right. I mean, there's
shit's gotta change, because if you go back, it's just gonna fucking happen again.
The only reason she wants to go back is because she had power.
And she'd have even more power.
Yeah, if she gets her way, she has the most power.
I like how she is all sneaky and sometimes becomes your divine even when you're not looking.
Yeah, even when you don't, she sneaks her way into becoming divine. For a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, because I was being polite to her when she was telling me about, like, her thoughts on the circle and stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, I see where you're coming from. And I didn't support anybody specifically, and I encouraged Cassandra to find the history of the Seekers and reestablish them as a good order. That meant that she became my divine, which goes fucking poorly.
I fucking backed Liliana on the second playthrough, just because I wanted a different divine and wanted to see the different painting at the fucking end. Cassandra still became my divine.
Well, did you tell her to, like, reestablish the Seekers?
Yes.
That's weird.
Yeah,
It's also, like, largely based on things you do in the world, and things you do, like, say in conversation.
there's a lot of fucking
Yeah, there are a lot of
There's
factors.
more variables than anybody knows at this point. I know, because no one seems to be able to accurately tell you what to do to get a certain divine.
Well, and, I mean, I can tell you this is probably where it came from. I saved the Templars. Like, I went to Templar Town, and we saved the Templars, made them, like, equal people, I believe, the same way you do with the mages. B, I was like, sure, Vivienne, what your ideas are, they sound nice. C, I told Liliana to fuck right off.
Because you read a lot more into her statements than she meant. I can say that with conviction, because I've seen the painting and know what she does at the end of the game, and that's not what she meant.
Right? But having come fresh off conversations with Sarah, and knowing that I had hardened Liliana, accidentally, mind you, but still, that's what happened, and as vague as her comments are, you can understand why I thought she meant, oh, everyone can join the Chantry, and if they don't, I'll kill them.
But that's not what she meant.
No. She meant everyone can join the Chantry, and if anyone disagrees with me about the fact that anyone can join the Chantry, I'll kill them.
Which is just how I like it. I don't know that I'd ever do soften Liliana. Because if you do soften Liliana, apparently she just sort of talks them into not splitting off into splinter groups for now. Yeah, no, that's not... No. You murdered them. Thanks.
I'd rather have Cassandra around anyway. I think what she does with the Chantry is better. Safer.
I like, honestly, having looked up all the Divines, Liliana's my pick for my main playthrough, and that's why I'm glad I got her. I told Cassandra to go to the Seekers. I recruited the mages as allies, not prisoners. I did all of the magey mage things because I was a mage, and I don't remember exactly if the background has this as being the case, but as far as I'm concerned, he was in the rebellion.
It kind of leaves it open.
Yeah, and so...
Or no, you were in...
stuck in the Ostwick Circle,
yeah.
And they sent me as like a representative.
But you could have been pro-rebellion, just not actively fighting in it because you were stuck.
Yeah, they wouldn't let me out, and there were Templars there. But as far as I'm concerned, he was pro-rebellion. It's just the way things are. Like, and she abolishes the circles, and tells the Templars they can fuck right off, And that's the right thing to do.
Well, I know the next time I play through, because I will probably within the next 2 months, I am not even recruiting Vivian.
She's so useful in combat, though.
I've never used her in combat.
Yeah, you know how my game was super easy because my class was broke?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's because that's Vivian's class.
Well,
Knight Enchanter is fucking broken.
I can still get the book on Knight Enchanter if I decide to become one.
Yep, you can go buy it.
Exactly. So,
And if you're going to be a mage, be a Knight Enchanter. Best class.
Because fuck Vivian, I don't even want her in the party.
That's why I didn't use her, because, I already have a Knight Enchanter, I don't need to. I'm already broken. There's no sense making it worse.
The only reason I ever recruited her in the first place is because she seemed like she would be worse, if not within arm's reach.
Like if you thought if maybe you didn't recruit her, she'd be better have her nearby than have her pissed off that you didn't let her in.
Yeah.
Well, this last one, I recruited her, spoke to her once, and never spoke to her fucking again.
I can't blame you.
She's a cunt, dude.
I mean, I basically told her to go fuck herself when she's, like, offering the upper side quest. She was like, I need a thing. And I was like...
Cool, why?
Yeah, why? I mean, that was my question. Okay, sure, why? Can't tell you. Then I guess you don't need a thing.
She gets all
Secrets,
salty.
my dear, secrets. Well, no, sorry. Priorities, my dear, priorities. Get your own fucking thing.
And then she's like, well, I'll remember this, and walks off all salty.
Apparently you control her and bring her the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could totally, here's the thing. And she gets apparently super duper mad if you do that, too.
Well, she's doing it to save her love.
Which, no, she knows that shit's not gonna work. You can tell she knows that shit, because she's all sad, but in the next scene, she's fucking manipulating her love's sister and son into being her loyal lapdogs with your good reputation, because you went and got the fucking thing and killed the fucking monster. She uses you and your efforts to look good and then get power off it.
Yep. Fuck her.
Pretty much. Look, I wouldn't kick Sarah out of the Inquisition. She's useful.
And they never stop letting you. There's always the option. And that's weird because that's not the case for anyone else.
Yes, it's always Sarah you can kick out.
That's not, why? Because she's a street kid? She's earned her place.
Because late game, she can suddenly become a racist.
Well, late game, she's always been, I don't know that I even call her racist. Just bitter. She's too bitter. Because she is an elf. She hates elves because Dalish elves they're smug and superior. Almost all of them are at the very least smug and superior towards city elves. And city elves are put upon and oppressed and won't let anyone forget it. And Sarah did not feel like living a life where she was fucking oppressed. Fuck you, I'm not oppressed, I'm not weak, I'm not a victim, you guys are whining.
And that's fine, but, and you can blame this on a lack of, depth to the game. Not that this isn't a deep game, but in this specific tiny aspect for one specific race's playthrough, you can blame this on that lack of writing depth. But when I am a Dalish elf, and when I am being reasonable about our history, and, saying things like, I'm sorry, it matters. And she is as much of a prat, or sometimes even worse, it does not endear her to me. It ceases being, look, I've gone through some hard shit, and becomes, look, fuck you. And I don't respond to fuck you from someone who's actually being super rude about it with, it's okay, we're pals. I mean, and the whole chantry thing. I mean, once you get to Skyhold, as a Dalish elf, unless you are 100% converted to the chantry, yes, glory to Andraste, may her giant ass be illuminated in the night sky for all eternity. She, every time you talk to her, either insults all Dalish elves, without bothering to mention you as an exception, ever.
She does that with everybody. She insults all humans, she insults all, because all of her, and this might be the writing, but all of her dialogue is centered around her being different than other elves, and you finding that interesting, and her violently reacting negatively towards you commenting on it.
Well, I mean, before that even becomes a thing, she either is doing that, insulting all elves and not making any exception for you, or telling you personally how your gods aren't real and don't count.
Yeah, a lot of people do that, too.
I mean, well, no, even Cullen, even Cassandra, like, there are points in the game where they're like, how do you feel about Andraste? And you're like, oh, I don't do that whole Andraste thing. And they're like, either disappointed, like, oh, that's too bad, oh well. Or they're like, very curt, and go, and then walk away. Sarah goes, that's weird because your gods aren't real. That's funny. They're demons. Your gods are demons, demon worshipper. Fuck you. Look, she might be consistently a dick, but she's still a dick.
Yeah, you just took this, you took it way more personally than I did.
You are a human, I was an elf.
She insults all humans, too. She calls you a genocidal maniac. Essentially, she does I listened to your dialogue and mine. It is exactly as bad. You took it way more personally.
I have the right to.
Well, Eric always takes this stuff personally, no offense to you. But do you remember how hardcore he hated the mages at the end of 2? Do you remember his drawing?
It was a glorious depiction.
I think
I've described it before.
Yeah. But yeah, no, you take the dragon, and I say that actually speaks well of Dragon Age's writing.
Sure, I get really into it.
That you take this shit so personally.
I love that this game finally offered us a different, speaking of mages, a different look into mages and spirits and all that sort of stuff that we didn't have in the first 2 games.
There's not really much of a different look aside from Cole.
Well, and Solas.
Cole and Solas.
Solas is only really saying stuff that's been shown in the games before.
Yeah, but it's stuff that's been shown in the games before next to crazy people.
Well, no, there was justice.
Sure, I mean...
In Awakening, that was a positive, benevolent spirit of the Fade.
But then Justice hung out with Anders and became insane and destroyed everything.
Which is exactly what Solas was talking about.
Sure.
Where if a positive spirit hangs around someone with shitty intentions...
But what's enforced by this in Origins and 2 is that this is the inevitability. The 100%. Even if you have a spirit, eventually it's going to turn into a demon and destroy everything. Period.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily the spirit's fault, but Solas doesn't paint that as anything less of an inevitability.
Well, I mean, he paints like options where there might not be an inevitability.
No, he paints options where he managed to make it not an inevitability, and as we find out later, he was fucking lying.
Well, I don't know that invalidates what he was saying just based on his backstory.
He mentions that he was able to get along with spirits of the Fade and not have them turn into demons around him because he's above all that. He didn't have bad thoughts. It's because he's fucking Fen'Harel, an elven god. He was able to get along with spirits of the Fade because, for all intents and purposes, he fucking is one.
Well, alright, but we don't know precisely what the gods are, the Maker included. That's
true, but at the very least, they're not like other beings. Flemeth is a pretty big proving ground for that. Mythal is obviously not like other spirits, and not like other things.
Flemeth isn't Mythal. Flemeth has Mythal.
They're like one and the same. They are Locutus. They are one. They are one will.
But
Mythal is part of Flemeth, as your heart is part of you.
Sure.
Mythal found Flemeth. And then...
But okay, let me put it this way. Mythal found Flemeth and now they are one and the same.
Mm-hmm.
But Mythal before Flemeth and Flemeth before Mythal were 2 different things.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are now Flemeth Mythal.
Yeah.
Not individually Mythal or individually Flemeth.
Flemethal, I believe, is the internet name.
Well, that's done.
Kind of like...
no, it's okay.
The first enchanter of Kirkwall, before he became all of the mages of
They were different things. They were one.
How did he do that anyway? Why?
Fuck if I know.
Nobody seems to fucking understand that. Even Ferret's like, that makes no fucking sense. They are self-aware enough as writers that they knew that they made something that made no goddamn sense and then commented on it.
Well, they were so rushed because EA was like, this sold a lot, get the second one out. And they're like, it's not ready. We don't fucking care.
EA, ladies and gentlemen. That's them in a nutshell.
Oh, it's the video game industry in a nutshell.
Well, they took
Look at Assassin's Creed.
Oh god, yeah, Unity's a pile of dog shit.
3.5 years on Inquisition. Thank
Yeah.
fucking God.
Took extra time and everything.
Because it is worth it.
Cat was licking boy's pants. That is why laughter and pause.
Another
Reasons
thing.
are not known.
I really enjoyed about this game, especially after playing it the first time, and realizing that I was right that Solas was up to fucking something, but it wasn't what I thought. That he wasn't some evil blood mage. Because that's...
That's usually what it is.
Yeah.
When a mage is up to something, let's be frank, it's usually blood magic.
Once I realized he was just the Dreadwolf.
Oh, he was, just the Dreadwolf. Just Elf Satan. I mean...
Elf Loki,
Loki.
be fair.
Oh, he's kind of Elf Satan, too.
Depends on who you're asking.
Well, if he actually locked the gods away to protect them from the Maker, he was helping them.
Well, I mean, that's an option, that's a possibility, but we don't know.
Hopefully.
I love how they paint. I love the shades of gray that came into this game. I mean, I can go on the individual things so much. And I'm sorry, I kind of interrupted you there, but I want to get this out because I started it. Sure, flip me off. This is how the podcast works. It's not take turns the podcast. It's two nerds the podcast. You and me, baby. Fuck the boy.
See, I was gonna wait a second and be like, that's right, you and me, baby.
Oh, yours was better. Yours was better. I'm sorry, listener. I'm sorry to have robbed you of that. Things that before we have seen in black and white, or even in a couple of gradients, have gotten so much more complicated in this game. Spirits, the Chantry, the Maker. A little less Andraste, but a little bit.
I don't know that the Maker got more complicated. I think,
we found out that he's
they shined a light on the complications, the implications that were always there.
Sure. And that complicates things, because it's no longer hearsay. It's like, no, this is a thing. Did I say Tevinter already?
No.
Tevinter there's so much like, I feel burdened with knowledge, and I love it. Elves, just all this stuff. I mean, and more. Canary, even. So much. It's just adding shades of gray.
Yes.
And I love that. Please, go on with what you were saying about Solas in your second playthrough.
I actually enjoyed him my second playthrough a lot more because I trusted him.
Because you know what his deal is.
The first time I'm like, do not trust, just not talk to you. Which I regret.
Well, that's kind of funny, because, like, at the end of Dragon Age 2, and, I mean, let's be honest, a lot of time has passed, but other than us coming to an agreement that the circles were not the right way to handle mages, there is a better way, but we aren't the divine, so it doesn't matter. It's not like we've really come around. I mean, playing through Dragon Age 2 again, as far as I had, it's not like I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to side with the mages because that's right. It was more like, okay, I'm going to side with the mages because I'm playing a mage, and that's what this character would do.
I always try for that, though. I typically try not to side with my personal stuff as much as I side with what the character would do.
Personally speaking, you would side with the mages, right?
Kirkwall?
Yeah.
It depends, how in that situation I was, because if I knew what your Hawk knew about Orsino, maybe not, because once you know that about Orsino, that he was probably, fundraising your dead mom, I might be like, okay, no, the first enchanter is an abomination. The first enchanter's an abomination. Look, there's probably some innocence there, and this is really regrettable, but we gotta clean this shit up.
Kirkwall was just a clusterfuck to begin with.
Also, I'm not a mage, so I can't make that judgment.
But, I mean, you guys both are pretty pro-mage.
Generally
speaking.
As I said, my Dragon Age playthroughs up to this point have been white male mages save the day. I'm fixing that, by the way. My next playthrough of Inquisition, I made a new world state where it was a female commoner dwarf who was the warden, and she died. and then female rogue hawk, I believe. Yeah, I was a warrior dwarf and then a rogue hawk, and now I'm playing Adar, the Canary, as a female warrior. And it's an interesting playthrough. I changed some other stuff, minor stuff, but it's interesting. And it's also a playthrough I don't normally play because I don't play dickheads in Dragon Age. I don't go down in the down option. 2 and 3, 1, just pick the thing that was obviously you being a cock miner. But in 2 and 3, the down option is I'm an asshole. And that's largely what I'm picking because Adar, as the one I'm playing, is very direct. No nonsense mercenary person. So it's interesting because you're way less of a dick in this than you were in 2 if you picked the dick
Because
option.
in 2, you could be a huge fucking
Yeah,
dick.
in 2, they were mostly mean responses with a couple direct. To the point that they gave you a different, like, little gavel icon when you were being direct, so you knew.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not being a dick here.
Um,
Now down is mostly direct, and if you're being a real asshole, they give you an angry fist.
Yes.
But despite all that, like, you guys being more pro-mage, I wouldn't say I'm anti-mage.
I would.
I would.
I have no sympathy for their plight.
Which is
Because
odd.
in the end, you motherfuckers can blow me up with your mind. And I can't.
Yeah, but that's the classic argument against mutants. And we've had this argument a million times.
Sure.
Yeah,
A guy with a sword can kill you just as readily.
And I don't disagree with that. But, for better or for worse, on either side of the argument, the guy with the sword can put his sword down.
The guy with the magic can put his magic down. Like, they've shown that there are mages who don't much in the way of mages.
Sure, but it's like you're never unarmed as a mage.
No, there's even an option for that in the prologue.
Yeah, in the prologue, when you're the mage and you have a staff and Cassandra's like, stand down! You're like, I don't need the staff.
Look, you want to get real? I don't need this.
And you never know what they're thinking, and I mean, I've at least got a heads up. When sword guy has his sword out, I might get sworded. When mage guy is there, I might get maged.
Does this just sound like...
And...
You sound like Senator Kelly.
And Dragon Age 1 and even more in 2, so much more in 2, did nothing but hammer home the point that mages are born. They grow up, they have a harrowing, and then some point in the future, they slit their wrists and shoot demons out of their eyes.
Not all of that.
Fact.
Not
No.
all of
The
them.
Dragon Age 2. There was like 3 that didn't. That one dude from Ostwick, or wherever he was from, and Bethany. And probably a third one, to be fair.
There's a couple more. Your perception has been colored by time and your own preconceptions.
Anyway, after...
The point I was getting at is that it's funny you guys liked the mages. I was not so fond of the mages, and yet I was the one who was like, Solas, you seem nice.
That is funny. The next playthrough I'm playing a mage. It's the first time I've ever played a mage in a Dragon Age game.
They're super fun.
I'm
This is
excited.
the best for them.
I'm playing an elf mage, and I'm romancing Cullen.
Which is not a surprise to anyone.
No surprise
in the
to
history of
anybody.
ever.
Like, in her second playthrough, to tell the story.
Alright, so my second playthrough, I decided to romance Blackwall because I needed a break from Cullen. Turns out I couldn't take the break, and Blackwall just was not doing it for me. So after it comes to the light that he is Tom Rainier, and you're judging him, it gives you the option, he's like telling you how much he loves you, and I'm like, ooh, I can break up with him now. So I gave the option that says, I love you, but I can never trust you. And he's like, that's fair.
Because, I mean, really, that's quite fair.
And that was the best breakup. He's like, yeah, okay, I understand. So I immediately, not even 10 seconds later, ran to Cullen's office and in the next 30 minutes had sex with him.
That was the other thing about Sarah that pissed me off. I mean, beyond her being a bigot. Because I deal with people like that in my daily life. I'm friends with people like that. Not proud friends, but, when her breakup scenario, because every romance has, a breakup scenario. That's what, shifts their card over.
That's a funny thing. Cassandra's breakup scenario happens before you ever get together with her.
Yeah, they happen at different times. And Blackwall has 2. Like, there's one point early in the relationship where he, like, pushes you away. He's like, no, I'm shit for reasons that I can't mention.
And then he mentions the reasons and you get another shot.
Yeah. But Sarah's breakup scenario is even after the sex. Like, the on-screen sex. And she, like, freaks out. She's like, oh, I had a scary dream and everything went poorly and, oh, we can't do this anymore. And if you agree that you can't do this anymore, she treats you like shit because you broke up with her.
Yeah, she's
crazy.
Well, no, it's not even crazy.
It's not even crazy.
She had a bad dream and was having an emotional reaction, and you dump her at the first sign of trouble. You know what? She could probably be a little hurt by that.
Because she was asking me to.
That's not a good enough reason to break up with somebody.
Well, look,
You
okay.
know that's not a good enough reason to break up with someone.
Whoa. Before we go painting a picture of me, I wouldn't do that. And in fact, the first time I did it, I didn't. But I went back, and I was like, wonder what happens. Just to see. Doesn't go well.
Yeah, because you did an asshole thing, and then got surprised and blamed her when she was mad at you for doing an asshole thing.
I'm sorry, if you ask me to do something, and then I do it, you don't get to be mad that I did it.
No, that's a perfectly valid reaction in a lot of points.
Well, that is a me thing.
That's
Look, and those fake tests are bullshit. You are not, that's manipulative. You're mad at me because you were being manipulative and I failed your super special secret test. Now that's a pretty fucking obvious one, but still, you don't get to be mad.
It doesn't even necessarily have to be a test. It's just someone's having a bad moment. Look, I'm sorry, but even if they ask you to leave them, abandoning someone in the first bad moment of the relationship makes you the asshole. It just does.
Anyway, back to what I was saying.
Post-game Dragon Age Inquisition has quickly become the boy telling me how wrong I am for the reasons I feel about Dragon Age Inquisition.
Anyway.
No, it's mostly just Sarah. I feel like...
And my opinions on Solas. And my opinions on elves.
Which opinions on Solas?
He's pretty cool. And I like his ideas.
I don't like his ideas, but I got no problems with it.
I believe your exact phrasing was, it's funny how the first time one person says anything differently about the Chantry, you're all the way over on their side.
That's not me telling you you're wrong. It's just me. That's just me pointing out a pattern in your thoughts.
Still, he's being very mean, listener, and I want you to thumbs up this video, because that would affect me too if you gave it a thumbs down.
Anyway. So my fourth playthrough, I plan on making some character, an elf, and romancing Solas. Because even though there's no sexy time, Solas loves you.
Yeah,
loves you so hard. It is so sad. I can't wait to get my heart broken.
That's my current dilemma. Because I need to replay my main playthrough. As much as I wanted to experience the newness with a good character that I liked, I'm kind of upset that I didn't, especially for certain decisions, that I didn't just do it on another character and see what I could have done. Because I don't know how I feel about making Cole more human. I don't know how much I like that.
I do too, but you're right, that's kind of a sketchy call.
Yeah. And they pull these fucking shotgun calls on you where they're like, shoot or don't. And I'm like, I don't. Can I have a... I probably would have taken all of the elf priest's brains into my elf's brain. When you drink from the Well of Sorrows. Mm-hmm. Because, at that time I assumed it was Flemeth. And I don't mind being in servitude to Flemeth, or, as it happens, Solas. B, my elf would know all of the elf things. She would, personally, have her culture's history on tap.
Yep.
That would fix so much. That would be the decision she made. The only reason I didn't make that decision is because Blackwell was like, please don't. You are my only thing. That and my Griffin rocking horse. That's it. That's all I got.
Did he really say Griffin rocking horse?
No,
I don't believe you.
He was almost in tears, though.
He was like, please don't. This is a bad.
If it's just let the Witcher do it, it's fine. Just
Yeah.
I'm scared and short.
he's wee.
He's a pansy.
He's like the same height as Sarah.
And I love how him and Sarah are such good friends.
They're buddies.
Because they're both kind of pervy. Look,
They
if we're
are.
not talking about politics, Sarah's great.
I love doing the...
Sarah, this is a back and forth. You posted it on your Tumblr. Sarah, finish that story from the tavern about the time you were elbow deep in in circumstances. That was not her name. That shit was real funny.
Yeah, but like that's my dilemma. So I don't know if I want to take this character, this elf character who's super elfy and makes all these decisions I wanted to make because I felt really good about that being my Inquisitor, and romance Solas because all the elf points for all the win, or Iron Bull because out of all of the characters in the game who I developed a strong relationship with, like as friends or whatever, Iron Bull was the strongest.
You know what the funny thing is? Iron Bull was probably one of my better friends. I would say my best bro is Dorian.
Yes. Me and Dorian are besties.
Me and Dorian were just... then there's, I suppose, Cassandra, because they were in a relationship, my character and Cassandra. They were very close. But his best buddy was Dorian. But I don't know if there's any playthrough where I'm going to romance Iron Bull. And I might have several, but it's never going to happen. Dorian Iron Bull is my OTP.
See, I can't romance Cassandra because Varric needs to get over his shit, and
his weird ex-girlfriend.
His weird, like, not wife.
That's because you are Varric and I am Cassandra.
But yeah, no.
I don't know what you're talking about. I am not a short, angry, bitter, sad writer.
Who uses humor as a defense mechanism.
I'm none of those things. I certainly don't have a weird, snarky friend whose mage pal accidentally blew up the chantry. Look at you, the boy.
I would so be friends. I would have so been friends with Anders. That's the way I'm like, yeah, Anders, you got the right of it, man. You're living the dream. Oh shit, he's done gone crazy. Fuck.
I don't mean to say this, boy, but Blondie is an idiot.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to use the murder knife on him. That's unfortunate.
Oh,
but playthrough that I romance Solas, I'm going to be a elf rogue. I'm
cool.
also going to have the shitty hawk that I leave in the Fade and play through with Alistair. So I can
my god. Do you know of the thing?
No.
Oh. Okay. If Alistair is a warden, in your history, make sure your warden is alive and they were in love.
Yes, always.
Well, here's the thing. When you do that, don't do the thing where you get a letter from the warden until after you've gone into the Fate and saved Alistair.
Yes.
Because then, Alistair shows up on your fucking ramparts and has a little conversation about how much he loves the warden.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Be warned, listener, there's a pterodactyl in the room now.
Back, pterodactyl, back! We have hangers!
Fucking only dogs can hear you now.
I'm gonna put subtitles on that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, isn't it the best ego trip and the dumbest? Anytime anybody talks about your warden, you're like, yay, me! Not Hawk, though. Fuck Hawk. Hawk's Hawk. But the warden, yay!
Oh my god, I want to do it now!
The pterodactyl has left. The pterodactyl has been replaced with the grandma from Chowder.
Oh, man.
And that playthrough after I have my heart attack, cornea, whatever.
Cornea?
What's
Cornea?
What's the one I'm looking for?
Coronary.
Coronary. There we go.
This is a cornea.
I know, I said it wrong in the first place. When I have a coronary, a stroke, pulmonary embolism, whatever, after seeing my Alistair, my alley bear. Anyway,
What happens after that?
I'm gonna drink from the well. That's gonna be my character.
Yeah.
She's gonna make the elfiest elf, and she's gonna do what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I want to romance Solas and be super elfy, or if I want to romance Iron Bull and be like tight.
You're gonna be playing a very similar character to the one you played before, right? A very elfy elf.
There's no way you're gonna be tight after romancing Iron Bull.
You're going to be doing something very similar. Just play the game. Flirt with both of them. See how it plays out. She could be attracted to both of them and then see how things play out.
Yeah.
Aren't both of them the type of people that if you are in a relationship, you can't...
That's what I was kind of worried about. Because I know, like, Harding, once you've flirted enough with someone else, Harding you can't flirt with.
I'll look it up.
But it's not worth flirting with Harding, because you get, like... You flirt with her, like, 3 times.
It's worth flirting with Harding.
Yeah, it's worth flirting with Harding.
Harding is the cutest character.
Alright, full disclosure, I'm playing a female Canary to romance Sarah, because I like Sarah. She's super fun. And if my male mage inquisitor could have romanced Sarah, he would have. But she's not into penis. But there's no, like, if Harding was a romance option, 1, me and Cassandra never would have gotten together. 2, next playthrough with the female inquisitor, that's Harding 2. And I play 5 more playthroughs with Harding. Harding's fucking adorable.
You know what?
I'm hoping for the Citadel DLC that gives us, like, more stuff.
So, totally straight up, if Krem was an option to romance, I wouldn't even bat my eyes at Alistair. Cullen.
And Alistair 2.
Yeah, Alistair 2.
Electric Boogaloo. Oh, man. I'm so obsessed with him right now, I'm even reading fanfic.
Again.
Still.
Yeah. I liked Blackwall. I feel good about that relationship. I'm glad I watched it. It was very touching.
But,
it was too much of a
the Cassandra relationship, honestly, worked for that character. It's the character that I was specifically playing. Because the character I was specifically playing is, in the very classic sense, he was romantic, he was idealistic, he was passionate, and the romance with Cassandra is romantic. That's his whole shtick. Like, she goes on when you finally get past her outer shell and talks about how she wants romance. She wants someone to woo her and read her poetry and light candles and, you know, all that stuff. And that's very cool character development for that character. It's a very good thing. I don't know that I'm ever going to do it again, because Cassandra as a person, although she fit very well for that character, if I were to play, if I got a wild hair up my ass and decided to play that character all over again and fix the few minor things I have a problem with that happened, I would probably romance Josephine. Josephine, I gather, the romance is much more natural.
And fun. She gets up to some wacky shit. Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, I think maybe even last podcast, this game doesn't have another Garrus Vicarian. I don't know if you're ever going to have another Garrus Vicarian.
I've never had a Garrus Vicarian. I've never had you have a husbando. I don't. I don't have a waifu. I don't have that.
I mean, you were pretty smitten with Tali, not like in the real world. And not that I'm actually smitten with Garrus, but...
Yes,
Tali
you
was
are.
Adorable, man.
Oh, I'm not saying, look, you got your girl Donatello. You went dibs, and I went dang, and I went, wait, Garrus. Never mind, keep her.
And that romance, that shit was touching. But, yeah, no, you've had like 3 husbandos at this point.
No, really, just Alistair and Cullen.
Wasn't there another one?
No.
Fenris was,
Yeah, there was...
Yeah, Dragon Age 2's romantic.
I like how they're set. Sarah is a lesbian. I like how Sarah is a lesbian. I like how Dorian is a gay.
He's a gay.
He
is the gay.
Yeah, he's... do not speak down to Dorian. He is the gay champion. He is the king of gays. He is amazing.
He is fabulous. No, he is fabulous.
What was that one? Gay is not a choice, it is a contest, and I am winning.
Yes. He is winning the gay test. Gay contest. Sorry.
Gay test. Different fanfiction, late 90s, WWE.
I love how Cassandra and Cullen are completely straight. Blackwall straight.
Yes.
See,
Cullen doesn't do dwarves or Quinari either.
Yeah, Cullen's kind of a racist.
Well,
he likes what he likes. And, I mean, like, maybe he doesn't want, snoo-snoo. Maybe that's not his thing. I can totally get the dwarf thing because they're wee, and that might freak him out. He'd be like, look, I know you like burly, but you remind me of the height of children. And
I spent a lot of time in the Chantry as a kid, and...
And
That'd mess me up pretty much for life.
It takes
I'm already pretty bad.
I would start lyrium again.
it takes a special person to find Kunari attractive.
I don't know about that, man.
They have some shitty hairstyles in this game.
They have shitty hairstyles, but now that I've seen Lady Kunari, nah, dude,
Yeah, they're alright.
that's pretty good.
There's nothing wrong with them.
But it's
Blackwall romance any lady.
Blackwall just wants someone to love him.
Did you know if you romance Blackwall as a female Kunari, he stands on your feetsies when you're kissing?
Because he's this big.
I don't know if it's a glitch or if it's intentional, but I hope to God it's intentional because it's adorable.
Help. I need smoochies.
Give me uppies for smooch time.
Can I also have some beard rubs while I'm up here?
Oh, yes, good.
Yeah,
Oh.
But yeah, no, it's
better than them being Inquisitor sexual.
I don't necessarily know that I agree with that.
From a gameplay standpoint, I think Inquisitor Sexual is better.
Yeah.
However, from a storytelling standpoint, I think it's better that they have their own personal identities and they are who they are.
I mean, you're not necessarily wrong. It's just that
You feel so strongly about it from a gameplay standpoint?
they gave you such an amazing option that felt very organic, honestly, for player choice in 2. And it was a very organic option, and how best to put this? It allowed you to make your mark on the game world in a very intense way. Taking that away, while it does make for stronger storylines and allows you to sort of fit your dialogue a little better.
Yeah.
Because Sarah can talk in banter about how she wonders what Kunari women look like. and that sort of thing. It's just, I don't know. Like, are there any other bisexuals besides the Iron Bull?
Josephine.
Josephine, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, there's 2 options for males, 2 options for females, and then 2 options for both.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I thought that was fair. I mean, and then there's Harding, who's also down.
And you know what the other thing is? Honestly, I feel like Inquisitor sexual makes more sense than Hawk sexual.
Yeah, because who the fuck is Hawk?
Hawk's a dude. Was it the Adventures of One Shitty Asshole on His Neighborhood Watch is what someone described it as? Hawk's just a dude. The Inquisitor's a fucking messiah. I'm pretty sure he could swing a couple people. Like, my Inquisitor seems like he could probably have swung Cullen if he wanted. Because, like, he's being worshipped. There's a lot of leeway there, is all I'm saying.
I shrug. I mean, also from a gameplay standpoint, while that first playthrough, while the ultimate playthrough is perhaps a bit better, it does encourage multiple playthroughs.
Yeah, because if I want to see the romance scenes for this character, I have to play I really want to see the romance scenes for Sarah. I want to see what that person is like in a romantic situation. I think it'd be interesting. So I have to venture outside my typical gaming habits to do so. I'm fine with that.
There's also YouTube.
No, it's not the same.
Yeah, it isn't the same. Because, they're not making your choices, and it's not your character. It's like watching a weird foreign person get in this relationship.
I found a character who looked almost identical to my original character.
Oh.
I mean, the only thing that was different was her eyes. I mean, it was creepy how much they looked alike. They're the exact same I love you option with Cullen, so I have that on my favorites list. I can just watch it over and over.
Hey, fun fact, listener, if any of you are friends with Brandie on Xbox, you can just see all her sex scenes from her playthroughs of Dragon Age.
I need to
she
look
saves
into
them
that.
all, like a weirdo.
No, I do too, whatever. I got my boobs.
I got my boobs too.
I need to figure out how to, hide those, because I'm about to become friends with a relative child of mine, relative of mine, on Xbox.
Ooh.
So, he don't need to be all of his. I'm sure there's a way to make those private. I need to go figure out how. because the icons are quite revealing.
These are tits.
This video got a boobies in it.
I can just see Diana coming downstairs. Parker, what are you? Oh, God!
But, well, you know, we're over on the podcast, actually. But that's okay. I do want to get a couple last thoughts out. First of all, actually, you know what? Let's sum it up into one big thought ball. And, let's start with you, the boy, because you like talking.
I do. I like hearing my own voice a lot.
Overall, this is a two-parter. Overall, beginning, middle, end. How do you feel about Dragon Age? Like, in those little three, you know, good, bad, great, whatever. And, what was your favorite part of the game?
Okay, beginning. Honestly, the beginning, having played through it a couple times now, it's probably the weakest part of the game. Middle, I really like. It expands and has a lot of freedom, and there's a lot of fun stuff to do. I also really, really like the end. I feel like the end of that story was suitably epic. There were like two options in the final battle where there were beautiful spots for witty one-liners that they didn't have my Inquisitor make, and I'm a little salty about that. But that's about it. I love the story stuff. I love all of the story stuff, really. And I'm a little salty about the post-game stuff because they turn off the speech, they turn off chat for everybody.
Yeah.
There's no banter afterwards?
No, there's none. They say hi, and then you are pushed out of dialogue with them.
What about when you're out in the field?
They still do banter back and forth.
Okay. I knew that part, that it's just...
Yeah, they still do banter back and forth, which is alright, but I'm a little salty about that because I wanted to have more conversations with these people.
Yeah.
But...
Which I'm sure they are working on free DLC for us in future patches that's supposed to include stuff that they didn't have time to put in the final game. So maybe that's part of it.
I hope that's something. Then, what was the next thing you asked?
Favorite part of the game.
Ooh, that's really fucking tough.
Isn't it, though? Brandie asked me a similar question, and I had a similar problem.
This is gonna sound weird, but my favorite part of the game is exploring. Exploring these giant, expansive zones and listening to party banter. Maybe that's because I had to work extra hard to get that, because my game had that audio glitch that I have to work hard to get around. But I enjoy listening to this group of people come together as friends. In Dragon Age 2, it seemed like it happened in the background. They would party banter, but their friendship seemed to be developing away from you. Just in the background, they did their own thing. Most of the friendships in Dragon Age Inquisition between your party members develop with you right there. So you get to see these people come together into a unit. I love that sort of thing. But I think that's my favorite part.
I would have to say, the beginning's okay for me. I mean, I've done it a lot. So, you know, there's that. But it's not bad. I think it's a good way to get into a game. And, you can speed through it pretty good. If you're not worried about missing dialogue or something, it's just like, good, it's over with. The middle is strong because it's so vast and there's so much to do. The story is really the best through there. And there's just so many different options of how to take things differently. That's really, yeah. That's really where the strength of your romance is, too. That's where you see the most results of your decisions in previous games. So I'd say the middle is the strongest part of the game. The end... And by the end, I mean the stuff after the Temple of Mythal is a little lackluster. What an epic place to have a final battle. What an easy final battle, unless you're Spectral. And even then, go back, respec, or slightly change your party, and it's an easy final battle. But fun. I mean, I don't want to be too hard on it, but it could have been better. And the actual ending, I will say that it is leaps and bounds better than the ending of Final Fantasy VII, by which I mean Dragon Age 2. However...
Archie almost got it back.
For obvious reasons, it's not as good as the ending of Origins. Because Origins was a game where they thought, you know, we might never ever make a sequel. So... let's just go ahead and say this is what your warden does with the rest of his life. This is how all these plot threads tie up. and that you've got a story there.
There's a wedding sometimes.
Sometimes there's a wedding. Sometimes some people become a paragon, like myself. Oh, what muscles? Sometimes people die. Sometimes worlds are brought together. There's a lot of story there. There's a little bit of story in Dragon Age Inquisition,
but it's all stuff that's meant to set up the next game.
Yes, exactly. So better than 2 by leagues.
Oh God.
Not quite as good as Origins for obvious reasons.
Well, there's Alistair, but not as often.
I meant the ending specifically. I do like that they let you hang out at the banquet. I felt that was very important and really made me feel like I could sit around and enjoy my accomplishments.
That is the ice cream ending. That is the ending everyone wanted for Mass Effect 3. You beat the Reapers, you killed them all, you get ice cream, and now let's have a party. That's what people wanted, God damn it.
We didn't get ice cream. We got Petiforce.
Yes.
But I do digress slightly. There was no way you couldn't not beat Corypheus and it be a bad end. Like, the way they set that up. I mean, they went into this going, okay, you need to fucking win. Otherwise, bad.
Right. But it's just, I'm glad that part of that, development house listened to the internet.
Sure.
And went out of their way to make an ending that was decisive and had you being actually the winner.
As for my favorite part of the game, now I don't feel like I've experienced all of it because there are zones I haven't explored. But, in terms of gameplay, I really like interacting with my party. I like seeing those different decisions play out different ways. The biggest thing about my current playthrough that I'm going through is that instead of having Stroud or even Alistair as my warden that you meet around the middle of the game, I have Loghain. I'm curious to see where that goes.
Because you picked the wrong world state.
Well, no, Alistair's king.
With a Nora.
Well, I don't have your warden in my game.
You should.
But, so yeah, I'm curious to see where that goes. I think Loghain's a very interesting character, a bit set in his ways and kind of an ass about it, but probably my favorite part of the game, and Boy can attest to this because he watched me play it, was the Temple of Mythal. Specifically, no, actually the whole fucking thing. There was just so much interesting shit going on. There was the really cool puzzle chambers that I really wish there was a harder puzzle there for, but I guess that's what the Astariums are for. And there was the gorgeousness of the actual Inner Sanctum Temple itself. I mean, I was just like, oh, wow, a thing! Ooh, a thing! Through the whole walkthrough. And I felt it was a really strong point in the game. Brandie, why don't you round us off? What do you feel?
Beginning, middle, and end. How do you feel about it, and what's your favorite part of the game?
Beginning? Okay, I enjoyed it. You only do so much before you start getting bored, and once you've played it, as a second or third playthrough, you're like, just let me get to fucking Skyhold.
Right.
You just rush through everything and get to fucking Skyhold. Middle, amazing. So much stuff to do. You can spend 100, 300 hours just hanging out and getting everything done. Ending, after the Temple of Mythal, way too quick, way too fucking easy. I mean, I was disappointed on how easy it was to kill Corypheus.
See, that's so weird. Because you guys both have said that. I don't have that same... the fucking final battle was easy. I just thought it was easy because I was, 4 levels above the expected level range.
Okay,
I was
wasn't.
Higher level.
I was level 17.
So right in there.
Right where you're supposed to be. And I went in the first time with what my party traditionally was, which was Cole, Blackwall, Iron Bull, and myself as a mage, with the Fade Mage specialization. Rift Mage, yeah. I couldn't beat the dragon. It was impossible.
Okay.
Because it does that roar thing and gets a full health bar of armor.
Yeah.
By the time I whittle it back down, it does the roar thing again.
Yeah.
It's just impossible for me to do. Because Fade Mage is based on the weakened status. Or Rift Mage, excuse me. And if you can't inflict the weakened status to something, well then there's no point in using your Rift Mage powers. And all the other shit I had was low-level AoE stuff. So, and the dragon would do stuff sometimes where my entire party couldn't get to it. or if I needed to revive somebody, I needed to walk into the dragon's taint and hold the A button.
Yeah, the
I
dragon does
switched
like-
out Cole for Varric, and I actually put runes in my stuff. I respect me slightly to replace one spell with a direct damage spell.
And then we're good?
And it was easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I beat that dragon before, like, some dialogue happened. That's all.
Yeah, no, I was like 4 levels above the level range. I just figured it was easy because I had power gained, I was spec'd, I had runes, I had crafted gear, I had the best uncrafted gear, I'd gotten a lot of good drops, I fucking found everything, I'd gone searching for special weapons, I had made extra double damaging weapons for my party, I had fucking gone to the 9s, and then I went, oh my god, I looked at my party and went, the final battle's gonna be so fucking easy. I'm so much better than they expect you to be. And I'm like, oh yeah.
Even the first playthrough, when I was the level you had to be.
Yeah.
It was easy.
What was your party combination?
The first time it was me, Dorian, Cassandra, Blackwall. Second time it was me, Dorian, Cole, and Iron Bolt.
Interesting.
Dorian is always my mage.
Dorian is the worst mage in the game.
He's always my mage.
By popular? Because
He's
like...
my healer. I don't really... The necromancer I didn't give a shit about, but he's my healer. And I like his banter.
Yeah, oh god, he has good banter.
But my favorite part of the entire game, we'll go ahead and rule out the romancing Cullen, because that's a given.
I wasn't gonna make you, but I appreciate that you did.
Wicked Grace.
Yeah, Wicked Grace is good.
That Wicked Grace scene was
I mean,
good.
it was worth it. I mean, just...
Is it because of Naked Cullen, though?
No. That's just an added bonus.
That was a great character development scene for everybody that I didn't expect. And I agree with you. That is a really great... I still say Temple of Mythal because there's a lot there that I loved, but that was really good.
Tell again. And then the second thing, my second favorite thing, which wasn't actually in the game, but it was their plug. Buy my book.
Oh yeah, the ad for the video game
Yes.
awards or whatever.
And
when we realized that I was Varric.
And that 35% because of half the game.
I figured.
But mostly
You know why people play our game, Seeker.
Because of...
Our well-developed story and meaningful choices. Naked Cullen walks by in the background. Buy my book.
Anyway.
So, yes. Listener, we have a surprise for you later this week. Also, tomorrow morning we're getting up bright and early to watch The Hobbit, so next week's edition of the Tuners Podcast.
Oh shit, we are doing that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yay!
That's why we wrap this up, so I can go to bed.
Yeah, next week's
I
edition of the
probably
Tuners
should have
Podcast is going to be about Lord of the Rings in general, and the Hobbit movies more specifically.
And, well, there's I ruined the segue by fumbling it, but that's okay. Everything's better when nerds talk about it.
Except that segue. You're fired.
And that sucked.
Ooh! Oh! Guest shade! Oh, God!
I thought he had pressed stop when I said it. I thought it was...
No, I want this. I want the internet to hear you throw shade at me for no reason. I've done nothing to you. I want the internet to know that too. I've been nice to her all day. She throws shade at my outro. I see how it is.
I'm scandalized.
We're done here.
Fuck it, let's go!